Turning overseas, Russia has launched attacks on cities and towns in eastern Ukraine in a new phase of the war. It's a renewed push along a 480-kilometre front to take control of the Donbas region, which borders Russia. Joining us live from Kiev is CNN reporter Ed Lavandera. Ed, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much. What is the expectation about what this new phase will look like? How is Russia changing tack?
Well, all indications are it's going to be an intensified and brutal war here in the coming days and weeks. Right now, what we are seeing is the initial phase of this renewed offensive from Russian forces in eastern Ukraine. Heavy bombardment in various cities all across that region, starting in Kiev in northeast Ukraine, where 3 people were killed, 16 others injured. Those are civilians killed in bombardment there. And then south of there, where Russian forces are expected to make more of an incursion, you're seeing heavy bombardment of small cities, and Ukrainian officials essentially urging the civilians who are left in these areas and in these small towns to evacuate as quickly as possible, warning them that they're running out of time. One village in particular that was taken over by Russian forces earlier today, officials described the civilians left there as hostages. And then in southeast Ukraine, you have the city of Mariupol, where you have the last remnants of Ukrainian military forces hiding away in a steel factory that all indications are, according to the commander of that unit, saying that they are down to their last day, if not hours, of being able to withstand the Russian attack on that region. So this is all an intensification of Russian attacks in eastern Ukraine. And the bombardment is probably designed to soften up the Ukrainian forces on the ground to help lay the groundwork for an incursion of Russian ground forces on the ground in the coming days.
Ed, what about where you are on the ground in Kiev? What is the situation there?
You know, and Kiev is the kind of where you have this scenes of desperation almost everywhere you look, especially in the suburbs around the north and in the areas north of the city where Russian forces occupied so much of the terrain in the cities for weeks. And now that those Russian forces are gone from the area, what is left in the wake of all of that is just truly horrifying. So you have really kind of this juxtaposition of odd scenes, if you will. You have investigators and crime scene investigators going out trying to dig up the bodies of civilians who were left in unmarked graves, in mass graves, people who are unidentified. You have families looking for missing loved ones. It is just a tragic scene almost everywhere you look. But then at the same time, you can find scenes of life getting back to normal. We came across a convoy of 4 civilian cars that had been torched, set on fire. Everything just deteriorated. And just a short distance away, we happened to see 2 elderly women who were painting the fence in their front yard, like trying to get some semblance of normality back to their lives. So you have this juxtaposition of this world trying to get its life back together. You have many people returning to the city, trying to get to the neighborhoods that they have evacuated. So it really is just kind of an emotional, tense area to witness, even though there is no fighting here.
Yeah, heartbreaking humanitarian situation, no doubt about it. Ed Lavandera, appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much for the update.